It's midnight in Mathura. Vasudeva and Devaki are lying in a prison, afraid of what is going to happen next. Devaki is having a child, their eighth child. The seven before this one have been killed by Kamsa, who's Devaki's own brother. Just as the child is born, a sort of dreamy silence spreads over the prison, and all the guards go to sleep. The doors open by themselves. Vasudeva picks up the newborn child whose cries have not awoken anyone. He puts the child in a basket, and after letting Devaki get one last look at the child, he carries it away. The prison doors are open, it is raining heavily, and Yamuna is almost flooding. Vasudeva has put the child in a basket, placed the basket on his head, and has carried it far away into Gokula. He leaves the child with Yashoda and Nandaraja, the promise that they will take care of this foster child. This child, because of his dark skin, is going to be named Krishna. Kamsa finds out that the eighth child has escaped and starts sending Asura after Asura to find out and kill that child. First comes Putana, who tries to feed the infant Krishna poisoned milk. Krishna kills her. Then comes Shakata, the Asura in the form of a toy. Krishna kills him too. Then comes Trinavarta, the one in the form of a tornado, and he gets killed too. One day, Krishna eats some mud, and when Mother Devaki tries to take that mud out of his mouth and asks him to open his mouth wide, she sees the entire cosmos, the entire universe in there. When Krishna is being naughty and his mother tries to tie him with a rope, he runs with the stone mortar that he is tied to and breaks two large trees and sets free Nalakubera and Manigriva. But when the attacks do not stop, Nanda Maharaj decides to move from Gokula and go to Vrindavan. The attacks still don't stop. Krishna kills Baka, the bird, Agha, the serpent, and Vatsa, the calf, all of these asuras who have been sent to kill him. Then comes Dhenuka, whom he ends with Balarama. And then it's the turn of the multi-headed snake Kalia. Kalia has been spreading poison in the waters of Yamuna, and Krishna jumps into the river, kills Kalia, and dances upon his many heads. One day, when the people of Vrindavana are planning to create a large sacrifice and worship Lord Indra for good rains, Krishna cautions them and reminds them that the rain comes because of Govardhana Parvata, or the hill, and says you should instead worship the hill. Upset with this decision, when Indra rains and causes a flood to drown Vrindavana, Krishna shows another Leela, picks up the Govardhana Giri and holds it up so that everybody can live safely under it. After many, many weeks of this, Indra finally accepts defeat and comes down and gives him the name Govinda. This is also the time when he performs the famous Rasa Leela with Gopis. In time, Akrura comes and takes Krishna and Balarama to Mathura. This is for the famous bow sacrifice. And when the sacrificial bow is being paraded across the town, Krishna picks it up and breaks it into many pieces. Enraged, when an elephant is sent to tackle him, he kills the elephant, and then the terrible warrior named Chanura is killed in Malla Yuddha or single combat. Another warrior called Mushtika is now killed by Balarama, who's accompanied Krishna to Mathura. In time, Krishna kills Kamsa, his own uncle, sets the town of Mathura free from the tyranny of this king, and crowns Ugrasena, his grandfather, as king. He is now at an age where, with Balarama and many other students, he attends the Gurukula. He goes to Guru Sandipini's ashrama and learns about the Shastras and Shastra. In time, the Magadha king, Jarasandha, who's very, very angry with how his son-in-law Kamsa has been killed, sends an army to attack Mathura. Krishna and his army defeat King Jarasandha's army and sends it back. But Jarasandha does not give up. He sends his army again and again and again. 17 times this happens. 17 times Krishna wins. But the body count is rising in Mathura. And Krishna will not have innocent people die. So, with Balarama and many other Yadavas, he makes the long journey from Mathura to Dwaraka, and on the banks of that ocean, he sets up a new kingdom. This is where the Yadavas flourish. So now we are all caught up on what's been happening with Krishna. The Mahabharata does not tell all the stories chronologically. The childhood stories or the Balya Leela of Krishna are barely mentioned in Mahabharata. We see Krishna as a full grown adult already. There is an additional book, an appendix to Mahabharata, so to speak, Harivamsha. And this book is where you get to see a lot of what happened to Krishna during his childhood and his adolescence. Similarly, the Mahabharata never tells us the story of Drupada immediately after Drona. Even in this series, you have seen me recount the story of Drupada as if it was told in Mahabharata chronologically, except now when the Pandavas are starting to go towards Panchala from Ekachakra, this is where there is a parva called Chaitra Ratha Parva, in which they learn about what happened to Drupada after he was insulted by Drona. Similarly, the story of Amba, which many people tell in the retelling of Mahabharata chronologically, is actually recounted many parvas later, just before the war begins in the Bhishma Parva. And finally, Karna's story is never once mentioned in Mahabharata until the war is actually over. So, till Karna dies, he is presented as the villain and the bad guy. It's only after Karna is dead and his funeral rites are to be performed are we told the story of the good he has done in this world. So it's become fashionable these days to present Karna as an out and out villain, although that is not true according to Mahabharata. He was a complex character and there is good and bad on both sides.